My husband, who used to visit here as a child. The magic of it just struck me then and has stayed with me ever since. It's a place that is constantly changing. One can understand why artists come down here and try and paint, because it's always a challenge, because the colours and the lights, you'd feel that you never quite capture it. I think my favourite walk starts here at Kynance, because it's so astounding and it's so much the epitome of what I love. And then to wind along the coastal path, cutting across the Lizard and going across some of the land. And then onto Kenwick Sands, which has a lovely expansive beach and is probably where all the holiday makers around here will go. It's just magic. These rocks are made up of serpentine, the whole of the Lizard area. And serpentine is something that the Victorians really treasured and made all sorts of objects out of. But everywhere around you just see these great pieces of it coming out of the ground. I'm going to walk from here across to the Lizard, but along the coastal path, and then inland a bit. But we'll pick up pastures at the Lizard first. I love walking up this path. A lot of the stones have become polished with all the tread of the tourists over the years, from Victorian times on. The place has such presence, you can understand why over the years people have given names to the rocks, like Bishop Rock over there and Guff Rocks, and round the corner is Albert Rock, named after Prince Albert, who came and visited here. Some of it's quite a clamber. Oh, look at the heather, it's so beautiful just in amongst all the rocks. Really amazing. Wow. This is Lizard Village, which gets lots of visitors because Lizard Point is the most southerly part of Britain. But there is another point to being here, and that's the best Cornish pasties, which we will find around the corner. Dwth dar, Anne?
Oh, dwth dar, Jenny, in Point Amaras. Well done. You'd like a pasty?
Un pasty marplay.
Sharon, vintage pasty.
Mirror? What's thank you?
Miras. Brilliant.
I'll see you again.
You're learning so fast. To Guinness. Goodbye. To Guinness.
Pastry is so light. They keep the heat for ages, so you can actually walk quite a long way and find a nice quiet spot like this. Grade Church was built in the 14th century in this extraordinarily remote spot. The gravestones have some wonderful inscriptions. There's one particular one which I'd like to show you. I can't find the name carved into the stone, but the date here is 1671, and clearly the person wasn't too happy about being buried in the churchyard. He says, "Why here? Why not? It's all one ground, and here none will my dust confound. Why not a member as his head? No choir to sing, no bells to ring. Why, sirs, thus buried was my king. I grudge the fashion of this day. Too fat the church and starved the lay. Though nothing now of me be seen, I hope my name and bed is green." You can see Grade Church from miles out there at sea. In fact, it was used during the war as an outpost, apparently. So we've gone from Grade Church to the Devil's Frying Pan. So cool because it looks like a pan, and the water comes underneath an arch and breaks through and seems to boil and bubble. And people around here love tales of the supernatural anyway. Someone told me the other day that they were walking along here and they saw this woman coming towards them. And they expected to bump into her around the corner. But she wasn't there. And there was nowhere for her to have gone. She just disappeared. I don't believe it, personally. Cadgwick. It's so unbelievably picturesque. But it's actually a real village, and most of the money is made here from fishing. There are about 20 fishermen going out. And you feel how difficult the place is when you realise a few years back, 2 went out and never came back. And that's sort of what one lives with here. But it is an extraordinary place. Just over there is Grey Church, and below Cadgwith. We've walked along the coast and we're ending up on the beach, just straight down there, big stretch of beach. But on the way, we're going down to Poltesco. There are very strong winds blowing across the top, and there are very few trees, but shrubs and gorse, and a very rare heather, which is Erica vagans. Very good name for a stage name, I think. Maybe I should call myself that. This particular part of Cornwall can be rugged and quite difficult, but finding somewhere like this, Caerleon Cove, which is where the old serpentine works are, now it's all in ruins. There's a bit of a climb, but not a very long walk over to Kennack Beach from here. We've walked about 7 miles from Kynance to Kennack Sands, and over on the west side it's quite wild, really, with Kynance and those extraordinary rocks. And then you come round the corner and this is much gentler. Still not tame, but much gentler. A lovely feeling of expanse. I consider I've travelled a great deal in my life, right from childhood all through. But whenever I come back here, now living here and walking here and being around, I just am startled by the beauty, and I think this is the most beautiful place in the world.